Okay. What's the most surprising how much extensive reading improves students' writing skills? In one study on extensive reading, students in extensive reading programs were evalu- eva- evaluated evaluated as 2 to 3 times better in writing when compared with students who did not read much yet actually practiced writing more. Many other researchers have come to similar conclusions. Students who just read a lot can make equal 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 or better progress in writing skills than students who actually practice writing, at least in regard to beginner and intermediate 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 students regard to. Okay. Surprising surprisingly
Surprisingly.
surprisingly, extensive reading can also help speaking skills as well as listening skills to a lesser extent. extent. Lesser, lesser extent. One study on learning changes found reading outside of the classroom to be the most sci- sci- sig- significant, most significant, most significant predict, predict, predictor of forward communicate, communicative ability, communicative ability. Students who read a lot are more likely to speak well. Other researchers have found that students just reading graded readers Sipnift books, especially especially middle language students, improved in both fluency, fluency and correct accuracy, fluency and accuracy of expression, exper, expression in the speaking, though even though the student did have little speaking during the course of the study. Extensive reading and speaking skills. Surprisingly, surprisingly. Surprisingly, extensive reading can also help speaking can 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 also help speaking skills as well as listening skills to listen. Laser,
lesser,
laser, 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 laser.
extent,
Extend, laser, laser extend, laser extend. Any difference so that will be correct all to extension is establish establish the extent of the damage 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 damage
damage,
damage 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 is damage 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 extends. Surprisingly, extensive reading can also help speaking can also help speaking skills as well as listening skills to the latest extents. One study on the learning strangers found reading outside of the classroom to be the most significant, I guess,
significant, significant, significant,
significant, significant, significant, significant, most significant producer, significant produce predictor predictor
predictor,
pre
predictor,
predictor predictor predictor. One study on learning strangers found reading outside of the classroom to be the most significant predictor most the most significant predictor predictor predictor, dic, predictor, predictor of the oral,
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 口服
oral, oral, contracts, tips, contrastive, contrastives, maybe oral, oral, oral communicative ability, communicative,
communicative,
communicative, oral, communication, communicative, oral communicative ability. Students who read a lot are more likely to speak well. Other researchers have found that students just reading garden,
graded,
graded,
grade,
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 grade, grade, graded readers, simplified, simplified,
simplified, simplified,
simplified,
simplified,
simplified, simplified, simplified,
simplify,
simplify, simplify, simple, simplify, simplified books, especially made of language students, improve in both fluency,
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 fluency, fluency, fluency, Fluency. Fluency. Okay. Currency. Currency. Occurrence.
Accuracy.
Accuracy. Accurate. Accurate.
Accuracy.
Accuracy. Accuracy. Accuracy. Accuracy. Accuracy. Accuracy. Accuracy of expression.
Expression.
Accuracy of expression in their speaking, even though the student did very little speaking during the course of the study.
During.
The course of the study. Extensive reading and speaking skills. Surprisingly, extensive reading can also help speaking skills as well as listening skills to a lesser extent. When studying on learning strategies, from the reading outside of the classroom to the most significant predictor significant predictor of the oral communicative ability. Students who read a lot are more likely to speak well. Other researchers have found that students just reading graded readers simplified books, especially matter of language students, improve in both infancy and accuracy of expression in their speaking, even though the student did very little speaking during the course of the study. TOEFL TOEIC test. Do you want to have a good TOEFL or TOEIC score? May you should start thinking about extensive reading. Researchers have found that students who often read in English in their free time tend to have the high TOEFL scores, while those who do not. Why? while those who do not tend to have low scores. They found that reading have a better predictor of TOEFL performance than even the number of years studying English and living in English-speaking countries. Another study showed that students who only read enjoyable books met consistent gains consistent gains on their TOEFL scores ever averaging 3 to 4 points on the test each week. Do you want to have a good TOEFL or TOEIC score? Maybe you started thinking about extensive reading. Researchers have found the students who often read in English in their free time tend free time tend. No, it is tend. In their free time, tend to have high TOEFL scores. Tend to. Okay, so tend to. Researchers have found the students. Researchers have found the student who often read in English in their free time tend to have high TOEFL scores, while those who do not tend to have low. While those who do not tend to have low scores. They found that reading was a better predictor of TOEFL performance than even the number of years studying English and living in English-speaking countries. Another student showed that another study showed that students who only read enjoyable books met consistent gains. Gain. Gains. Consistent gains. Consistent gains on their TOEFL scores. Average. Averaging 3 to 4 points on the test on the test at each week. Each. Okay. Surprisingly extensive reading can also help speaking skills as well as listening skills to a lesser extent. One study on learning strange from reading outside of the classroom to be the most significant predictor of oral communicative ability. Students who read a lot are more likely to speak well. Other researchers have found that students just reading graded readers simplify simplified books, especially mother language students, improve in both fluency and accuracy of expression, expression in their speaking, even though the student did very little speaking during the course of the study. Do you want to have a good TOEFL or TOEIC score? Maybe you should start thinking about extensive reading. Researchers have found that students who often read English in their free time tend to have high TOEFL scores, while those who do not tend to have low scores. They found that reading was a better predictor of TOEFL performance than even the number of years studying English and living in English-speaking countries. Another study showed that students who only read enjoyable math consistent scans on their TOEFL scores, averaging 3 to 4 points on the test each week. How is it that just reading alone can bring all of these benefits? Extensive reading, although allows extensive reading allows students to see a lot of language in context. Context over and over again, giving them the exposure they need to. Given exposure, they need to understand, organize, remembers, and use it. It's built and strengthens foundation vocabulary and grammar knowledge. In short, extensive reading provide very strong foundation on which to build a language skill. Provide. Provides a good foundation.